The most famous saying when it comes to holding is really by Jesse Livermore. Money's made in the sitting, not trading. Stan Druckenmiller, the GOAT, pretty much summarized why holding is important. And in this quote, he summarizes it by saying that the way to build superior long-term returns is through two things: preservation of capital, meaning risk management, and second, home runs. When you have tremendous conviction at trade, you have to go for the juggler. It takes courage to be a pig. You can't have a home run without holding. I think tama naman yun, di ba? You can't have home runs without holding. A home run, I would say, would be considered to be a multi-bagger. And if you guys want to understand how to really build wealth over the long run, it really boils down to two things: how good you are in risk management, and second, how good you are in home runs, meaning how good you are in holding the winners where you don't really need to manage risk at all initially, meaning hawakan mo yung panalo. For me, the challenge for me, coming from where I grew up as a trader professionally in my ecosystem, was I was initially taught to stay away from the jackpot mentality, which I eventually learned was a limiting belief. Right? And it's actually much easier to get 6 trades that yield 10% versus, let's say, 3 trades that would yield 20% each, let alone 1 trade that would yield 70%. And while that is completely true, and that should be the goal of every trader, that should be the default mindset of every trader, I would say once in a while, when the opportunity presents itself, you need to be able to go for the home run when the home run presents itself. Here's what I learned from all these rich traders, at least from 10 years of managing money in the market. What I learned is, number one, they knew how to hold. And coming from financial markets, looking at people from different styles, what I also learned was that over time, traders kind of mature by acting like an investor. And over time, investors mature by also acting like traders. The biggest insight and challenge to holding is really all about volatility. Stan Druckenmiller says you can't make big money without confronting big swings and real market volatility. That is really the reality. Volatility is the price you pay for your performance, which means that volatility is the cost of holding towards positions that yield triple-digit returns. That's really the reality. You can't go to it's very rare for you to hit 100% on your P&L, meaning on a single position, without going through some form of volatility. That's really just the case. Diba? Kasi it's very simple How can you hold all the way to 100, 200% mark gain when on the way there, so many people are going to be tempted to sell their position, take profit because of whatever reason? It's that selling in between that causes the volatility. I think this is really the most important starting point when it comes to formulating your holding strategy. It's the starting point, volatility. And looking at yourself, looking at your own emotional sensitivities, and ask yourself, how much volatility am I willing to tolerate? And it really depends on your overall situation and suitability. Why? Because some people, some OJ family members here may have a business that they're running, or they have a family that they're taking care of. They can't watch the setups all day, the intraday action. So that suitability will maybe dictate what security they'll invest instead, or what EMA they'll be using as a trail stock.